Hey everyone, today we're going to be comparing a couple of bags from Pioneer. A little while back I took a look at the company's Panda Pack on the channel, and overall I was really impressed with the build quality and the organizational layout of that bag, so I was excited to have a chance to also test out their Savant Pack and the Duration Pack. And in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use all of these and really talk through some of the similarities and differences between the bags in case you're in the market for one of these but not quite sure which one might be best for you. So really excited to dive in. Before doing so, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, although there's some differences in the appearance between each of the bags, in general to me it feels like they have a pretty similar style as far as being modern, sleek bags. They feel a little bit more techy, and it seems like they're going to work really well in a more professional setting. If you're wearing them with a nicer outfit, they're also going to be great for exploring a city, for traveling, so a very versatile appearance. You have the Duration Pack and the Panda Pack, which to me feel fairly similar as far as just being a little bit more functional. They have some exterior pockets that stand out a little bit more, and then you have the Savant Pack, which feels like the most modern looking of the bags. It definitely reminds me a little bit of something from Able Carry or Air or Bellroy. So it's a little bit cleaner, but in general they all have that versatile, great looking appearance. So far I've really liked the style. And then as far as the build quality, all of them have Pioneer's 840D Mandarin ballistic nylon, which has felt absolutely great in the time that I've had the Panda Pack, and it comes over to the other two bags, so it feels very rugged, abrasion resistant. It's going to offer a nice amount of weather resistance, so I'll be keeping a close eye on it as I use these bags more and more, but so far it's held up great. And then you also have the really beefy YKK zippers. At first I did not think that I was going to like this style of zipper, but so far I've been super impressed with how smooth they actually end up working. And then this style of zipper, according to the company's site, is going to be a little bit easier to repair, less likely for it to break. We'll see how that holds up as I use these for a longer period of time, but so far just the performance has been really smooth. They haven't gotten snagged on anything, which I absolutely love. And then continuing along the exterior, none of the bags have a traditional water bottle pocket per se. The Panda Pack does have two external pockets on the sides that could potentially be used for holding some water bottles if you don't close them. But beyond that, you don't have any sort of elastic meshy compartments, which I would typically prefer to have, but I can see that they might not work well with the aesthetic that the company's going for. So, that'll really come down to what you're looking for out of your bag. Beyond that, they all have, really nice carrying handle at the top with the removable sort of padded section here. They all have a luggage tag and an attachment point along the exterior. So that's, part of the aspect that helps when you're using this for travel. So that's a nice little touch there. And then the branding on the bags is really subtle. On the Panda Pack and the Duration Pack, which are the ones that have the pockets along the front, the branding is on the side. And then with the Savant Pack, you actually do have a little bit of branding here at the bottom, but regardless, it's fairly subtle on all of the bags, which I really like. It doesn't scream the company's brand name. And then one of the cool things about all of these bags is that they were designed to be self-standing, and so far in my experience, this has worked quite well across all models of the bag. So whether it's the Panda Pack, the Duration Pack, or the Savant Pack, even if they're not completely full, in general, it's worked pretty consistently. Now, as the bags start to get a little emptier and the weight gets distributed in different ways, then you might start to see some of them tip over. But in general, I've been really impressed with how easy it's been to place these down next to me. I can access all the pockets and get to what I need to very easily. And then taking a look at the capacities, I have these lined up from smallest to largest. So the Duration Pack is going to be the smallest in the line, coming in at around 18 liters, I believe. And then the Savant Pack is a little bit bigger at around 22 liters. And then the Panda Pack is the largest, coming in at 25 liters. Each of these is a daily carry size that works well for me. Depending on what I'm carrying, I tend to gravitate a little bit more towards the 25 liter pack. I just like the extra space that provides, as well as the extra organization, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But if you have more of a minimal daily carry, the 18 liters on the Duration Pack, is still able to hold an impressive amount And then with the Savant Pack and the layout that this has, it also is able to hold more than enough than most people would want to probably carry on their day-to-day. And then I like that regardless of which model you get, when they're a little bit more packed out, they still manage to maintain a pretty slim and clean profile, making them great for navigating crowded areas, jumping onto public transit, and carrying on to pretty much any domestic or international airline. Taking a look at the harness system, so far the bags have been pretty comfortable to wear. Same harness across all of them, so the style of the straps is very similar. You have a nice amount of padding. Right out of the box, it's pretty soft and comfortable. It's not the most robust strap that you'll find on a tech bag, but to me that felt pretty good overall. They don't have any sort of breathable mesh on the inside, but they get the job done. One thing to note is that they don't have any sort of a sternum strap included or really an easy way to add one. So that's something to consider, particularly if you're getting maybe the larger Panda Pack. And then on the back paneling, they have a nice amount of padding, well distributed. Again, similar style on all of these. There's not really any major difference. It really just comes down to the side. But, you know, good padding, it's elevated, so you're gonna have a little bit of an air channel here to provide some ventilation. And I like that all of these have a great luggage pass-through that's gonna allow you to rest them on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, besides the size of the bags, this is probably where you'll find the biggest differences among the models. Starting off with the laptop compartment, since they all have a dedicated laptop compartment on the rear, you can get to it very easily. It's a top-loading compartment. It doesn't open flat or anything like that. I really like the orientation and how this pairs with the luggage pass-through, so it's very easy to grab your device while it's resting on your suitcase if you're going through TSA. This is always very helpful. You have a good amount of padding in these compartments, but same thing that I called out in the Panda Pack review a little while back is that these are not suspended off the bottom of the ground. There is some padding here, but it's not pulled up, which is something that I definitely like to see in a laptop compartment. So when you place your bag down a little bit harder, just doesn't offer the same peace of mind as if you had a false bottom like we've seen in some other tech bags. So that would have been a nice addition. Hope to see that in future iterations of the bag, and so that is the case with all of these. One thing that's interesting about the Savant Pack in particular is that it does have an additional sleeve inside of the laptop compartment, which is actually a little bit pulled up off the bottom of the ground. So, you know, it's interesting that this was only included in this bag, and so this is a pretty large sleeve. I was actually able to rest my 14-inch MacBook Pro into that sleeve. It's kind of a slip pocket, so the sleeve itself is not that padded, but the rest of the compartment is, and then it's pulled up off the bottom, so that might be a nice sort of additional feature. And then one last note on the laptop compartment for each of these is that they are sized to hold a 15 or 16-inch laptop comfortably. Currently, I have my Acer laptop, the big chunky one that I've been featuring in a couple of recent videos. I had it in the Panda Pack. It's able to fit into the Savant Pack very easily. I'll go ahead and toss that in there. I have both of the laptops in here now, so my MacBook and the Acer laptop. And then even in the Duration Pack, I am able to fit it in there. And so if you have a 16-inch laptop, even one that's a little bit bulkier, that is one thing that is nice about these bags, is they should be able to handle it pretty well. Continuing along with some of the differences in the exterior organization, the Panda Pack, as I mentioned earlier, has two external zippered compartments. I'm a big fan of these, not only for maybe being able to hold a water bottle, but also for my sunglasses, chargers, an umbrella, just anything that I'm wanting to grab a little bit more regularly that's a taller item. These make it very easy to get to them. This does, however, affect the sleekness of the bag. It doesn't look quite as minimal as I called out in my review for the Panda Pack. It actually kind of reminds me of some of the older Toomey bags that I've seen at many airports around the world. So, you know, that might work. It might be worth the trade-off if you don't like the style for the functionality, but in general, I'm a fan. And then the Savant Pack does not have any zippered pockets along the front. So a little bit of a different organizational layout. I'll get to that in a second. I want to pull the Duration Pack over because to me this is kind of like a smaller version of the Panda Pack. So it doesn't have the two pockets on the sides, but they both have these quick access pockets along the front, two of them that are very, very useful because of the way that Pioneer does their volume distribution. So they actually expand outwards, which allows you to use them with pretty bulky items without them impacting the space in the main area. So even for the duration pack, which is a little bit smaller, you still have a top quick access pocket. It's able to hold something like my sunglasses very comfortably, or other quick grab items like some cables, your headphones, and then at the bottom you have the larger one that also has an internal slip pocket as well as a little lanyard that you can use to hold your keys or a multi-tool. And that's pretty much the same layout as what you have with the Panda Pack. These are just gonna offer a little bit more volume, so they expand out more. They're gonna give you some additional flexibility. I absolutely loved this organizational layout, just super functional. I was even able to fit my drone with its hardshell case into this bottom front quick access pocket. And again, it didn't eat into the main space. So that was really great to see, super functional. And then taking a look at the Savant Pack, this one doesn't have the same as far as quick access, but it does provide an additional admin area that's a little bit larger, and it just kind of combines everything into a secondary main compartment almost. So this is an interesting approach. It almost gives you that dual clamshell layout that I talk about in some other bag reviews, which I genuinely like quite a bit, because this compartment, it opens fairly wide and then it goes all the way down to the bottom, and it has plenty of volume, so you can really toss in a bunch of different pouches and bulkier accessories here. If you have a jacket, if you have some gloves, a hat. Here I have the Evergoods Civic Access Pouch half liter, one of my favorite new tech pouches. Make sure to check out the video that I did for that. And then inside of this compartment, you also have some built-in slip pockets that are just gonna be great for holding, the tech items that I'm grabbing most regularly. So I have a couple of cables, a USB-C hub. I have my Apple Magic Mouse here. So very simple, it doesn't go overboard, but super, super functional. And then again, with the additional space that you have here on the front, even though you don't necessarily have external water bottle pockets, this might be an area where I would place that because it's separate from the other areas of my bag. So pretty interesting layout. This is also what contributes to probably the biggest difference in the aesthetic. And then taking a look at the main compartments, each of these has a clamshell style opening. Before diving into that, one thing I forgot to call out here, which I did mention in my Panda Pack review, is that although the zippers on these aren't lockable in the traditional sense, the zipper pulls have a large enough opening, and there are these tabs along the different areas of the bag that can work well if you want to put a cable lock on these to give yourself a little bit more theft deterrence. So just, you might have to get a little bit creative, but in general, that's worked pretty well for me. And then coming back to the clamshell style opening, which I absolutely love that all of these have that. So it opens up flat, very easy to pack everything out. To me, this also just allows the bags to hold a little bit more than non-clamshell style bags. The only thing is you start to see is that with clamshell bags in general, things start to spill out, but just to showcase the layout, they all have a similar style, not only with the clamshell style opening, but also with the pocketing that's provided on the lid of the bag. So, very easy to load these out. Of course, the Panda Pack is gonna be able to hold the most. I was able to use it, as a minimal travel bag or as an EDC bag, more than enough leftover space. And then same with the Savant Pack, very easily able to hold my packing cube setup, but then also if you want to toss in a bunch of pouches, normal EDC items, they fit in here comfortably. So not a whole lot as far as the differences here beyond just the amount of volume that they offer. So the Duration Pack is going to be the smallest, Savant Pack is kind of the middle ground, and then if you need a little bit more space, the Panda Pack is going to be the way to go. But with that clamshell style opening, they all offer a ton of versatility. And then I'm a big fan of the zippered pockets that are offered on the lid of all of these. They're gonna just have a really nice premium feeling sort of mesh. So they're elastic, they'll expand to allow you to store something a little bit larger. You have one at the top, one at the bottom. I don't always end up using all of these, especially when the bags have as much organization as some of these have here. But regardless, it's good that they're there, even if you don't want to use them. And so, if you're looking for clamshell style bags, Pioneer has got you covered with a couple of different great options. And in general, I've really enjoyed using all of these bags, and which one works best for you is going to come down to the organizational preferences that you have, whether you like having more quick access pockets, if you want a more functional aesthetic, or if you want something a little bit sleeker, you should go with the Savant Pack. If not, then the Duration Pack is going to be the great one if you don't need quite as much space, you want something a little more compact. And then if you want the most space, the most organization, the Panda Pack is gonna be the way to go. And so that's it. Those are some of the similarities and differences between the Pioneer Panda Pack, Savant Pack, and Duration Pack. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on anything that we covered in the video or suggestions for similar bags that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to include a link in the description below to my in-depth review for the Panda Pack if you want to check that out, as well as to some of the other roundup videos that I've done where I talk about some of my favorite work and gym bags, favorite everyday carry bags, favorite travel bags. And if you have ideas for other cool roundup videos that I should do, definitely let me know about those as well. And I want to go ahead and thank the company for sending the bags for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.